if you already have Ayato and you are looking for the best build for him, or if you are planning to summon for him on the next phase or the patch 4.2, then you have clicked on the right video. In this video we will discuss Ayato's strengths and maybe some weaknesses that he might have. We will go over his talents, artifacts, and also best in slot weapons. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. First things first, let's talk about Ayato. Ayato is a Hydro DPS character that is from Inazuma. He is the second strongest Hydro character in the game, and he comes right after Novelet. And also he comes before Child. So if you don't have any Hydro DPS character in your account currently, Ayato is a great option, and his talents are as follows. Ayato gains his damage from his elemental skill, just like Yoimiya. His burst doesn't do that much, but all of the damage that he deals comes from his elemental skill. When you activate your elemental skill, Ayato will summon an illusion that will explode and deal AoE hydro damage to opponents that are nearby, so it has a small AoE, and also it enables him to do AoE hydro damage to opponents using normal attacks, so it will convert his normal attack from physical to hydro damage, and this cannot be overridden. So if you already have a C6 Bennett, this will not affect your Ayato. For example, if you have C6 Bennett, your normal attacks will not be converted into pyro damage, instead they will just remain hydro damage. Also, when the illusion attack and hits opponent, it will grant Ayato the Namisen effect. What is the Namisen effect, you might ask? Well, the Namisen effect is that Ayato will get bonus damage based on his current max HP. The second ability that he has, which is his elemental burst, doesn't do that much, but it's also a little bit good because it increases the normal attack damage that is dealt by any character of your party members, and also it deals AoE hydro damage to opponents in a large AoE. You can look at his burst like it's raining. It's like you summon a cloud into the abyss and it is raining on enemies. But what's great about it is that it increases your normal attack damage, and Ayato, whenever you use his elemental skill, you are going to be dealing normal attack damage into opponents. So it is a huge bonus, but it can be tricky sometimes because it might steal some of the vapes from Ayato. And also, one thing about his elemental skill is that it increases here interruption. So even if enemies will attack you, you will not get interrupted, but you will still be able to do damage to them. So that is a huge bonus for Ayato. Unlike Yoimiya, if you are using your elemental skill and dealing normal attacks to opponents, if enemies hit you, they will knock you over. With Ayato, that is not the same because you have huge interrupt resistance, so that is a huge bonus. Also, one of his passives is that when he is not on field and his energy is less than 40, he will regenerate 2 energy particles for himself every second, so you can get that burst up on rotation. With that out of the way, let's talk now a little bit about artifacts. Well, for Ayato it is a little bit tricky because if you have good ping, Echoes of an Offering is going to be the best in slot artifact set for him. 2-piece set increases your attack by 18%, and the 4-piece set, whenever you hit enemies with normal attacks, there is going to be a 36% chance that it will trigger a volley rate effect. This volley rate effect will increase your normal attack damage by 70% of Ayato's attack, and if your normal attack fails to trigger this effect, the chance of that effect will increase by a further 20%, and this trigger can occur once every 0.2 seconds. For substats, you're gonna need to get as much crit damage, crit rate, maybe a little bit of elemental mastery, attack percentage, and HP percentage can also help a little bit, and that is going to be for the flower and also the bloom. For sands, you are going to need an attack sand just because the 4-piece set will increase your normal attack based on attack, so it is best to use an attack sands over an HP sands. So an attack sands with crit damage, crit rate, a little bit of elemental mastery, and then recharge would be really good. For the goblet, obviously you are going to need to go with a hydro damage goblet with crit damage, crit rate, elemental mastery, and maybe a little bit of attack too would be really good. For the circlet, it is going to depend on which crit you are missing. If you need crit rate, go with a crit rate headpiece. If you have enough crit rate, go with a crit damage headpiece. Well, for crit rate, you are going to need to go above 65%, and for crit damage, just try to get as much as you can. So with this set out of the way, there are going to be 2 other optimal sets for him if you have high ping, or maybe if you don't have the Echoes of an Offering already farmed. One of which is going to be 4-piece Heart of Depth. 4-piece Heart of Depth. The 2-piece Heart of Depth will increase your hydro damage bonus by 15%, and also after you use your elemental skill, your normal attack and charge attack damage will be increased by 30% for 15 seconds. So this is a good 4-piece set for Ayato, and for substats, just the same as Echoes of an Offering, you need crit damage, crit rate, attack percentage, elemental mastery, and a little bit of energy recharge. Attack stance, hydro damage bonus goblet, and also a crit rate or damage headpiece depends on your ratio. Another set that also can be optimal for Ayato is going to be Nympho's Dream, the new Hydro set. The 2-piece set increases your Hydro damage by 15%, just like the Heart of Depth set, and also the 4-piece set, whenever you hit enemies with your normal attack or elemental skill, or maybe even elemental burst, you will gain 1 stack of Mirrored Nymph that will last 8 seconds, and you can get 3 stacks, and this stack will increase your attack by 7%, 16%, 25%, and also will increase your hydro damage bonus by 4% for 1 stack, 9% for 2 stacks, and 15% for 3 stacks. And the stacks can be triggered by using maybe an elemental burst to start the rotation, then elemental skill, and then a normal attack. So that's how you can maximize the effect of this 4-piece Nympho's Dream. For sands, you're gonna need to go with an attack sands, a hydro damage bonus goblet, and also crit rate or damage headpiece depends on your ratio. If you don't have any of these sets, maybe you're just a new player, you can also run a 2-piece gladiator or any 2-piece set that gives you attack, and also with another 2-piece hydro damage set, which is going to be Nympho's Dream or Heart of Depth. Well, luckily for you, you can just exchange for Heart of Depth. You don't need to farm it, you can just exchange for it in the crafting bench. Let's talk now about weapons. For weapons, any crit weapon is really nice on Ayato, especially his signature weapon, which is the Haran. It gives you 33 crit rate, which is equivalent to 66 crit damage, and the passive is actually really nice because it increases your all elemental damage bonus by 12%, and whenever your other nearby party members use elemental skills, the equipping character of this weapon, which is going to be Ayato, will gain 1 wave spike stack, and this effect can stack 2 times, and once you consume this effect, your normal attack damage will be increased by 20% for 8 seconds. So you get 12% all elemental damage bonus and additional 20% normal attack damage. But if you already own the Mistsplitter, you don't need to summon for his signature weapon unless you just want to get it. Mistsplitter gives you 44 crit damage at level 90. It has a high base attack, which is 674. It is higher than the Horan's, and the passive of the weapon is actually pretty good because the wielder of the weapon will gain 12% elemental damage bonus for every element that is on the party and receive the might of Mistsplitter's emblem. You can get 3 stacks. First stack will increase your elemental damage bonus by 8%. Second one will increase your elemental damage bonus by 16%, and the third stack will increase your elemental damage bonus by 28%. And to obtain these stacks, you are going to need to attack enemies with normal attack, and it has to be an elemental damage, not a physical damage. Casting an elemental burst, and also your energy has to be less than 100%, because whenever your energy is at 100% and you have your burst up, you will lose the third stack. A free-to-play option is going to be the Lion's Roar. It gives you attack percentage and it increases the damage against opponents affected by Pyro or Electro. Well, if you are using Ayato, you are definitely going to be using him in vaporized teams because that is his strongest team currently in the game. He doesn't really work well with freeze, and enemies are definitely going to be, you are definitely going to be needing Channeling with him, and Channeling is going to apply Pyro to enemies, or maybe you are going to apply Pyro with your Kazuha burst, and in that way your damage is going to be increased by 20%. Jet Cutter is another good weapon that can be used by Ayato. It gives you crit rate and also it gives you a little bit of HP. So it's a great weapon for Ayato if you already own that and don't have any of the other weapons. Battle Pass weapon, or maybe the shop's weapon that gives you crit rate, and the other weapon that gives you crit damage are also pretty good weapons if you own any of them. But best in slot for him is going to be either the Run or maybe Mistsplitter if you already own that. And with that out of the way, let's talk now about his best in slot teams. The best team for Ayato that exists currently in the game is going to be Vaporized team, using Kamisato Ayato as your main DPS, Kazuha as an Anemo support, Channeling as an enabler or a burst DPS character, and Bennett as your buffer and also healer. So this team is actually pretty strong. You can hit some crazy numbers on him. You can hit more than 100k normal attack vaporize on Ayato using this team. On Kazuha, you're gonna need 4-piece Verdescent, full elemental mastery build. On Channeling, the catch R5 and also 4-piece emblem. to get your burst up on rotation, and also you're gonna need high energy recharge on Bennett. A high base attack weapon on Bennett can also help with Ayato's damage. Instead of Shanling, you can actually use Yunjin because she buffs your normal attack damage, and also at C6 she increases the normal attack speed. She is also a good character that can fit with Ayato, and she works really well with him. Ayato isn't only good in Vaporize teams, he's also good in Hyper Bloom or Quick Bloom teams, using Ayato as your only Hydro character in the team, or you can also use Xingqiu with him instead of Yao Yao. Obviously, Nahida is best in slots in this team, but if you don't have her like me on this account, you can just use Traveler, a good Dendro support that is available to everybody. On weapon, you can use the Favonius to get your burst up very quickly and on rotation, and 4-piece Deep Wit set. For Yao Yao, you can use a healing set or even 4-piece Gilded. On Cookie, 4-piece Flower of Paradise or 4-piece Gilded full elemental mastery build is actually pretty good. And as I said, instead of Yao Yao, you can also run another Hydro character, which is going to be Xingqiu or maybe even Yelan. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found something useful in this video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments down below. I would be more than happy to answer any of questions that you might have. I will leave you now with the showcase of Ayato, using him in Abyss and maybe in the open world. He's actually a really good character. I would definitely recommend that you get him if you don't own a Hydro DPS character. If you already have Novelet and you are F2P, I would definitely recommend that you stick with Novelet. But if you have Primos to spare, you are not planning to summon for any character, I would definitely recommend Ayato. He's actually pretty fun to play and he deals crazy numbers. That's it for me for now. I'll leave you now with the showcase, and I will see you on the next video. Have a good day.
Not possible. The depths back.
I'm going in. Let's light it up.
Clouds high. The birds. I can't lose it all again. Kamisato Ari. Suiyu. As one with wind and cloud.
Teamwork is dreamwork. You're toast. Nice and spicy.
Wind strike. The depths back.
Everybody stand back. Boba, get them.
Clouds high. The birds cascade.
Let's light it up. Teamwork is dreamwork. Eat this. Nice and spicy.
As one with wind and cloud. Kamisato Ari. Suiyu.
Off we go.
Cascade.
Everybody stand back.
Be still.
Teamwork is dreamwork.
One with wind and cloud. Wind strike. Cascade.
Lightning.
Mind the deluge. Cascade.
Let my name echo in song. Ah! Propagate. Scatter. Out of my way. Germinate. Let the world collide. Dissipate.
Kamisato Ari. Suiyu, be still.
Propagate. Our bond is strong. Spring forth. Scatter.
Mind the deluge.